Welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show. We are live. And tonight we're doing a Newcastle Takeover Select 11. If you thought you'd heard enough of Newcastle's Takeover talk, it ain't stopping now. And it's not going to stop until we start seeing them players roll in. Because everyone is anticipating who's going to go, what direction they're going to go. And I myself have been spending, partial parts of the day in building this team up as it is. I've tried myself to go for realistic. Then I added a bit of I don't care. Then I added. then I thought about the fact that this team has potentially got 190 million to spend in January alone. So. But yeah, with all the things that come with a new team and lots of money, you're going to get a lot of mercenaries. You're going to get a lot of people just trying to jump on the bandwagon, and you're going to get a lot of genuine people that feel that Newcastle could build something. So who better to have than the transfer guru himself? It's Steve K. How you doing, Steve?
How you doing, Kieran? All right, mate. Yeah, I've been phoning all my contacts, all my crown princes, or in my phone book, and trying to get them to, put some money into Arsenal, but not having no luck. But yeah, Newcastle, very lucky club at this moment in time.
When I thought you had contacts, and clearly they're not good enough when these princes are not interested in buying Arsenal. They don't know what they're missing.
No.
They ain't got a clue.
No. I'm gonna have to raise my game a bit, am I?
A little bit. Don't be too hard on yourself. You've not been in this game for too long. All right. So let's get this started. As we've seen, Newcastle Takeover is done. Now, what is the angle that you went, Steve, with this? How did you go with it? Did you opt for something? I know we both said we're going to go realistic, esque. But
I knew you wouldn't.
I knew.
I did. You just couldn't resist.
No, do you know what? Yeah, I did. And then I went onto that free transfer list again. And then
I had a dabble. I had a dabble in there.
Exactly,
I had a little dabble.
Exactly. I went into that free transfer list and I was like, all right, now they might not join now, but they might join on a free if they know that they've got 2-3 years of big money and whatnot. So you never know. You never know. So
I mean, could Pedri be, persuaded? Nah.
No. See, I didn't go that far. I started my transfer dealings, below the 20 million mark. All right. Below the 20 million mark.
Yeah.
On free
no,
transfer.
What I did, I sort of saved the best of the squad. And and sort of done a mixture of people that's because you can't have a full 11.
No,
but, you have to have a mixture of the players that are still there and bringing players in, so not to upset the apple cart, as to say.
Of course. And I see there's over 35 people watching on Twitter at the moment. Don't be shy. Come over to KS1 TV YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and I want to see you guys in the comment section because you could be the deciding factor when it comes to picking these players. However, I do have a feeling that we're just going to have to come to some sort of agreement on this.
As long as you ain't got Nathan hanging about somewhere on some speed dial.
Nathan was not on speed dial. I was just feeding him £20 notes to make sure I got my players in there. But you got to do what you got to do to win.
Do what you got to do.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's get this started. So first of all, goalkeeper. I'm going to let you go first, Steve. Go on, give us the goalkeeper.
Well, goalkeeper. I mean, Newcastle have got 4 goalkeepers at the moment, anyway. And I think the Darlow, they've got the Brasco, I think that's how you pronounce it, and they've got a very, very, very good young goalkeeper called Whitman, Freddie Whitman, who's out injured at the moment.
Yeah.
Now I'm keeping Freddie Whitman in goal. I think he's a very good goalkeeper for Newcastle. I think he started the first 5 games of the season. He done pretty well. He's, as I say, he's got an injury at the moment, so he's out. And so that's the goalkeeper I've gone for. He's going to he's certainly going to be sitting behind a top class defence, which you're going to hear in a minute. But on top of that, I mean, just as we're going along, Newcastle have been linked with Lucas Hradecky of Bayer Leverkusen. Now that is quite tempting. I was quite tempted to put him in instead of Woodman as they're linked. But yeah, no, I'm sticking with the young man. I'm sticking with Freddie Whitman. Been at the club since he was 13 years old. So yeah, I'm going to stick with Freddie Whitman.
All right. Okay, so Freddie Whitman, very good goalkeeper, a player that is always weirdly linked to Arsenal. I don't understand. I know he's highly regarded. However, for a player that was only really just started getting some game time at his present club, it seems a bit odd that he was always linked with Arsenal. I've gone for a player that you actually went for in the free transfer 11. Now, the reason why I went for this goalkeeper is because of his age, because he's coming towards the end of his career. Tottenham potentially may not give him a new contract and he may look for new pastures new. And with it being, as I said, coming towards the end of his career, a 2-year deal could be something that could be realistic in my eyes. With the free transfer, I've gone for Hugo Lloris in goal as the player to be the number 1 for Newcastle. I feel it's a World Cup winning goalkeeper. It sets the tone for who they could potentially bring in. All right. It's a tough choice. It's a tough choice.
It is.
It's a tough choice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you bung out the poor young kid for a old man.
It's not about bunging out. He could learn a lot. People hit us up in the comment section. Who are you going for? Hugo Lloris or Freddie Whitman? Two very good goalkeepers. Now, let's start off with right back, because this is a position there's a lot of players out there who could potentially come in at right back. I'm sure names have been bandied around already, but this, for me, the one I chose is a player who I think is looking to get out. Who have you chosen?
Well, this is someone who I think wants to leave as well. So we may very well have gone for the same player here. I had a look who was around Newcastle. You know, I always was having a look, see if there was always someone that they could keep. I couldn't. The right back, I didn't think was up to much. So I've gone for a England international, someone who's been linked to move. He was linked to move to Manchester United this summer. And that's Kieran Trippier.
All right. Yeah.
I think he would, 40 million, even if it's 40 million, 35 million. Obviously, I mean, the money, it doesn't matter what the money is really, because it's just keeping it realistic club-wise, and, that the actual people not going silly with money and buying stupid players with ridiculous salaries and fees. But I thought Kieran Trippier, he has been linked, not too much. There's not too much going around about him, but for me, he's someone who I would slot in nicely at right back, I think. So, and he can also play in a number of positions. Very versatile player. So yeah, I've gone for Newcastle's right back, Kieran Trippier.
It's not a bad shout. As you're saying, for the price tag for me is not important. When you've got the amount of money that Newcastle are going to be pumping around, it's not about price tag for me. It's about like the player himself and whether they would go to the club, the player, the kind of player you think they are, and whether they're sort of winding down their career but still got that hunger, or whether it's a player who you think will just go for money, or a player who you think moving to Newcastle would be the step in the right direction. For me, I went for Max Aarons because
he was on my shortlist.
As I've said, he's a player who seems to every transfer window. It seems that he's linked with a club, but it's always the top clubs. And I don't think I don't think he's not there. He's not top club material yet, and wanting to be a first team regular week in week out. But I think it could be a very good move for Max Aarons, considering Newcastle will be looking to move up in that direction. And it's a price tag that wouldn't be an issue. And I think he would get game time week in, week out. So my right back is Max Aarons. All right.
This is tough, you know. Even your two of like Lloris and Aarons and mine of Woodman and Trippier. That's tough. That's tough to choose.
That's what I mean. I feel like we're not going to be able to pick a team. We're just going to sit here and admiring the choices we picked.
Yeah,
it's hard. It's genuinely hard.
It is.
Give us your centre backs. I think we've at least got to have one of the centre backs the same. I feel like we will.
Well, I've gone for a centre back who's still at Newcastle for one of them, just due to the way that I've picked around my team. They have been linked with another centre back today, funny enough, and I'll tell you who that is. But I've gone for Lascelles. I like him. I think he's, if I'm not mistaken, he's Newcastle's captain. So I feel that if you're going to go in and you're going to go and drop the captain or pull out the captain, I don't think that's a really good sign or a good thing to do. I think he's very well liked by the Newcastle fans as well, and I think he's a decent player. So I'm going to stick with Lascelles as well as the centre back. My other centre back, you could have this one. They was linked with a couple, as I said today. But I've gone for a player whose contract runs out at the end of this summer. He is a top draw footballer.
Yeah,
he's been linked to Manchester United.
Okay, not going to be the same player. I was thinking. I totally forgot it. This is the one. I was thinking. This is the one. This is the one. Go on.
Yeah, and I've totally forgotten his first name at the minute, but his second name is the Bayern Munich centre back, and that's Saul.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Neil Saul. No Saul.
Yeah, something like that. I think, I say, he's been linked with the top clubs. A lot of clubs have been looking into him. Juventus were looking at him. Bayern Munich really want to keep him, and they're trying to talk a contract, but he looks like he wants to go to the Premier League. As I say, he literally came out and said, I want to play for Manchester United, but that obviously wasn't going to happen because they bought Varane. But I've gone for Saul Bayern Munich to partner Lascelles as he's in the centre back position.
All right. So I've got two different defenders here, but I like your thought process on Lascelles. So I'll tell you my two centre backs, but I'm happy to drop one of these for Lascelles. So I've gone for Matthias Guinta. His contract currently runs out at the end of the season. I don't know whether he'd go to Newcastle, but I thought that with you being at a club like Mönchengladbach, Newcastle, yes, you'll be dropping out of Europe. However, how long will that be? Especially with the players that they'll be looking to get. My other defender was the one that I went for in the free transfer was James Tarkowski. I think a move like this would be a good move for him. He'd be able to hopefully move up with the club moving, and he'd be able to really test himself if he can get into those European spots again. So of the two, I'm happy to drop Matthias Guinta for Lascelles. I think it's a good shout with Lascelles being the captain.
Yeah, good.
And yeah,
Good. I mean, they've been linked with two, like Wesley Fofana today, which I just can't see happening. I can't see Leicester letting him go, and also Matthias Guinta, who again I just can't
see that.
I can't see it happening. No, but his quality
he's mustard. It was only 2 weeks ago that they were talking about Chelsea would have to pay 100 million to get him in. Like, so
yeah,
to drop down to Newcastle, no matter how much money they're talking about, I think even Raiola would be hard pushed to push through that deal.
Yeah. I think he's got something ridiculous, like 30-something clean sheets, 86 games, 6 goals, 2 assists. I mean, that's worth that type of money when you think about it. You know.
I still don't think he's hit or progressed as much as he should have done or could have done. I think he's a lot better than what we've seen so far at Juventus. Because the player that we saw when he was at Ajax, he was frightening. He was one of the most exciting players in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
And that's for any position because he made that centre back position entertaining. The way he was so passionate at putting in tackles, winning headers. He was scoring goals. Matthias.
Well, where he come from, Kieran? You know, he's came from Ajax, isn't he? Where you know they're just brought up on playing that. Even if you're a defender, centre back, you know you're taught how to score goals, how to make goals. Even if you're centre back, it's like I said, 6 goals and a couple of assists this season already. You know, no, not this season, sorry, but he's a very cultured footballer, and certainly you can tell that he's been brought up on that Ajax conveyor belt. Yeah, top draw player.
Yeah, definitely. Left back. Who did you go for left back?
Well, left back. This might shock a few people. It was tight. It was between 2, and one was like maybe not. But in the end, I've gone for again sticking with the Bundesliga for the backs. I've gone for Borussia Dortmund's Rafael Guerreiro as their left back. He's been linked before to a few Premiership clubs, and this guy is absolutely quality. I mean, they call him the Battery, you know, as a nickname. I mean, I don't know if they make these nicknames up. I mean, you know, people might think I make them up, but I don't. I honestly don't. And then that for all his energy, you know, his up and down performances on that left side. He's an excellent player, and I think he would be able to go for a decent price again, around about the 30-35 million mark. And I just think he'll be totally suited for the Premiership. And I wanted to look for someone who could, you know, it's when you've got a back, it's always good to sort of have partnerships at the back. So you got Trippier and Lascelles who are English, Sol and Guerreiro who are German. So there was that in me thinking. So I'm looking after you in Newcastle, you know. See, I'm thinking about you. So I've gone Rafael Guerreiro.
See, I found this well hard. This was actually the last position I picked because I just couldn't think of anyone like serious, because I was looking at defence. I was thinking, okay, nice balance of youth. Or you got a youngster there. You got a little bit of experience. You got experience in goal. I'm looking around. I'm thinking, okay, who could Newcastle get from at left back? I found it well hard. So in the end, I went back to the default, which was free transfers at the end of the season. And I ended up picking Nicolas Tagliafico. I don't think he'd go to Newcastle. I just couldn't think of anyone else. There was no one else. But he's at 19 million currently rated. He's another player was meant to leave last season with Onana and I can't think who else it was at Ajax, but there was 3 players. And yeah, he's still sitting there, still waiting. He signed a year extension. I went for Tagliafico as the left back.
Another good. I'll tell you what I was thinking of as well. Alex Telles. I was thinking Alex Telles a little bit.
Do you know what? I looked at Alex Telles. I actually saw his picture. I was like, that would be a good signing for them. That'd be a good signing.
Would he go? Would if they went and put some money on the table? Would he be tempted to play for those left back for Newcastle?
I can't see him not. Maybe a bit too early in his Man United career because he only would have been there one season. I don't know. But
that's where I was.
I think it's a good shout. But it was tough. It was tough. I was struggling.
Tagliafico's a good shout. That.
Now I enjoyed this one. Centre midfielders.
I found this a bit hard, actually.
What did you go for? Did you go 4-3-3? Yeah.
We can do that. I can move them around a bit. I can.
Go on. You had Mbappe on the left wing a couple of weeks ago, so go on.
That's true.
Go on.
Okay. Well, look. First of all, I'd like what does this mean for Joe Willock? I was having my cup of tea. I was picking my team. I was going through it, and first person who came into my head was Jack Willock. What does this mean for him? Does this put him back? Should I put him in my side? Personally, I think, I would. But I don't think Newcastle's new manager's going to. If they're going to they may look for someone better. And there will be better people out there if there's money available. But I don't know what you think about Joe Willock. But first of all, I'm going to go to the centre of midfield. And the first one is a player who is plays for a club at the moment who is struggling. He continues to perform. He got sent off last game, but he always performs, always a 7, always a 7 and 8 out of 10 every single week. And I think he'll fit in nicely at Newcastle. In the end, I wanted to put that little bit of English thing in there, and that's James Ward-Prowse.
Oh, yes. Great shout.
Yeah.
All right.
I think if they went and got him, they'd get him without any problems.
Yeah, I think they could as well. I think that's a very good shout.
Now, the other one was, I was thinking of, I won't say who I was thinking of because in case it's someone you've picked, but I went for a guy who used to play for Newcastle and left. And when he was at Newcastle, he would have struggled to get in like the top 500 midfield players in Europe. He was awful, but he went to Rio Sociedad, and he's turned into one of the best midfielders in Europe. And I think as he used to play for Newcastle, getting back 25 million, I reckon it cost. The geezer's flying high in La Liga, and that is Mikel Merino from Real Sociedad.
All right.
It's a bit left field.
He's left field.
There was thinking behind it. There was the fact that he used to play for Newcastle.
Yeah.
I don't know if they liked him or not, but seriously, this guy is now on fire.
He's left on bad terms, and Steve's bringing him back.
I'm bringing him back. This top quality. This geezer, he genuinely is top quality. And Rio Sociedad are a top side, and he played in the same team as Martin Odegaard, and those two were smashing it, week after week, and he's just continued doing that since Odegaard's left. So my two was Mikel Merino and James Ward-Prowse. Do you want me to name the third one? It's going to be quick and easy. It's someone who's already there. He's first. He'll probably be even first on the team sheet, even when all these other stars come. The geezer's the powerhouse. The geezer's is a beast, and he's named Alain Saint-Maximin.
Yes,
he's got to stay. He has to be in that side. There's no one that they're going to buy who can take this geezer out. And this guy in a new Newcastle
could be world class. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, could step it up.
Wow.
Now, do you know what? Funny enough, you say that. Yeah, I was watching the videos of Alain Saint-Maximin last night, and I was thinking just then. I was thinking there's certain players that they haven't moved or pushed for moves or made any noises about making that move, and he's one of those players that hasn't made any kick up a stink when there's a lot of hype around him, a lot of clubs sort of probably watching him, and he's had to sort of fight a relegation dogfight or fight a mid-table to lower half table fight with Newcastle for a few seasons, and he's one of those players that deserves it, along with Lascelles as well, who deserves to be a part of a team that's growing now, rather than just trying to move from pillar to post because it's not going in your favour right now. So, and I think, neutral fans of this, you got to love the passion that Newcastle have, and the fact that they've had to deal with Ashley for the last, it's probably like 15 years or whatever it is. Lack of investment. So Ryan
what do you think of Joe Willock?
Ryan Fitzgerald, are you saying we look better without Joe Linton missing almost every opportunity he's laid on the plate? Joe Linton, what a player!
He's your favourite player.
He's probably the reason why Steve Bruce is not even getting to look at the money that the Saudis are bringing in, because he spent 40 million on Joe Linton. Yes, Ryan, that is exactly what I'm saying. That Maximum will look much better without Joe Linton, who couldn't hit a barn door. We got Marie who's on, and Joe Linton was playing in Germany beforehand. And I asked her the question: was Joe Linton a player that you thought when Newcastle bought him, he could do something? And she was shocked that Newcastle paid 40 million for him. Shocked that Newcastle bought him because he's just not good enough for the Premier League. But, to be fair, Ryan, Jeff Horsfield probably did better than Joe Linton, like genuinely. And don't even mention Jeff Horsfield on this pod because Nathan Ellerton will not be happy. Remember when I mentioned Jeff Horsfield on the pod? I thought he was going to jump through the screen. All right.
He must have tackled him badly and won a game or something
in a training session. I don't know.
something like. What do you think of Joe Willock, Kieran? Just quick. I'm just curious in what you think.
Joe Willock. Yeah, I think he'll be part of the lineup, or the part of the buy-in. Is it great timing for him? I mean, it could be worse because Newcastle, in my eyes, can't just go. I think I've spoken about it before. They can't just go from A to Z. They have to do all the steps in between. Because any club that I've seen that's tried to go from A to Z is either sitting in the Championship, like in near administration in ridiculous amounts of debt, or they had to rethink what they were doing, and then sort of slow down and then build up again with some players that are really there to push the club forward. Because as soon as this takeover happened, there'd have been players out there that would have gone straight onto their agent, get me to that club. I want big money. I want to go to Newcastle. I'll go to Newcastle now. Like before they're interested, no. Now, yes. And I think Newcastle will be smart about it. With some of the names that you sort of hear and they're being linked to, the names that you're hearing that they want. It seems like they would have done their planning. The likes of James Sarkozy has been bandied about. One of the players that I'm about to throw in my team's been bandied about that Newcastle have offered him a contract. So, yeah, I think Joe Willock will be all right, and it's just up to him and his development to make sure that his progression, that he can stay in the team and hold down his place. I don't think right now Joe Willock should be worried. I think he should be thinking, all right, I'm going to show that I'm the man. They don't need to buy in the position that I'm sitting in. Yeah, that remains to be seen. It will all depend on the manager that they bring in and the guys at the top. But from what I am hearing is they're going to sort of stand off a little bit and let the chief exec deal with it and the manager deal with it.
Yeah.
And then if once it starts moving, they might get involved. But at this very moment in time, they're leaving it to the powers that be. So Joe Willock, I think will be all right. Yeah, all right. So my three, this is probably the most superstar positions that I've got in this team. Now I'm looking at it again. So my three, once again, no surprise, me being cheap, I went to the yellow label section where there was all on discount. Some of them are best before, some of them are used by, but some of them have still got plenty of life in them. Trust me with that.
Ain't that reduced section in the supermarket where they got the dodgy price tag on it?
I love the reduced section. The reduced section was my aisle. Yeah, I'm not one of them people that put the trolley in front though and don't let anyone else get in. We know who you are. Yeah, I'm watching you. But I am Mr. Yellow Label. All right. So my first one at DM. Yeah, he's wearing yellow. He is the Yellow Label man. He's got an afro. He's got a year left in his contract. His name is Axel Witsel. He's currently valued at £12 million. Sitting as a DM, I have to say, I think that's an absolute bargain for a Belgium international. I know he's had his injury troubles, but if you're talking about will Axel Witsel go to Newcastle? Well, Axel Witsel was playing in China for 3 seasons. Axel Witsel was playing at Zenit St. Petersburg for 4 or 5 seasons. Axel Witsel has spent the majority of his career at clubs you would probably think are nowhere near as good as what this player is. So do I think Axel Witsel could get to go to Newcastle? Yes, I do. And I think it's something that could definitely be achievable for Newcastle. My other central midfielder is a player that Steve knows that Newcastle offered a contract. Is it a 3-year deal, Steve? Formerly of Arsenal, Welsh international. Hasn't had the best time since he's left Arsenal, gone to Juventus, but the Premier League is his league. I've gone for Aaron Ramsey as central midfielder as well. And just above him, a player that Newcastle have been linked with. He had a great loan move to West Ham last year. He's refusing to sign a new deal at Manchester United. He's an England international, and he's Jesse Lingard. Yes, Jesse Lingard. I have to say, my midfield looks lethal. Witsel, Ramsey, and Lingard.
No Maximin. Oh well.
No. He's no. Don't be silly. So there's my 3 central midfielders. Steve, give us your. So I've gone for 3 up top. Well, 3. For all 3. So give us your right midfielder or right winger.
Yeah, my right winger. Well, it was out of 2. They both play for the same club.
Fighting for the premium.
It's where we ducked, didn't you? Is anyone looking? Hold on, someone's coming. Oh, hold on a minute. What's that up there? I was just.
I don't I'm like, who wants to take me on? Who wants to take me on?
You just go to the aisle where everybody's having a fight on the floor. You know that's the reduced pile then. Give me that. Sorry, people. back to the day job.
Yeah, sorry. You know.
You know. Yeah. And it was out of 2. These two both played for the same club. A very good club. And the one that I've gone for, and again, I think right money. I think they'd get him. I've gone for Riyad Mahrez. of Man City. He sometimes he's playing, sometimes he's not, sometimes he is. He sort of alternates quite a bit with Bernardo Silva, who is the other one that I was thinking of to put in rather than Mahrez. I was sort of like, using, you could easily play Bernardo Silva. You could put the other ones in and then Bernardo Silva slot behind or anything like that. But Bernardo Silva was another one that came close. But I thought with Riyad Mahrez out there on the right and Saint-Maximin steaming down on the left, that would be some awesome partnership and some scary proposition for defences to deal with. And I just think he would suit someone like Newcastle. And the most important thing, I think it's realistic, and I think they could get him.
Yeah, they probably could get one of them two. I'd say Riyad Mahrez out of the two. Like you said, they've got plenty of money.
So
he
wants to leave Bernardo Silva. That was another thing that was.
Yeah, he wants to leave. But he wants to go to Spain, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, Newcastle. Sorry, Bernardo, we found you a club. Oh, yes, boss. Yes, boss. It's not quite Spain. Where, boss? The time site. You'd be on the phone to your agent in a quick dash. Trust me. I went. So my right winger. He's played in the Premier League before. He was a childhood protege, some would say. Some would say didn't quite live up to expectations of what people expected. But since he moved clubs, and funnily enough, this club seems to be the making of quite a few players. This is like...
Come on, more clues. More clues.
This club is
for the comments
with quite a few players. This is fun. Where do I go? He is a Belgium international. He currently plays in Spain. Previous players are actually one of the players you mentioned earlier on. The club was a saving grace, and the other player, he currently plays for Arsenal. That club is Real Sociedad, and this player is Adnan Januzaj. He's currently got a year left on his contract. I think with a year left in his contract, he's a different player to what he was. But we still know that at Man United, he had a good time of it. Sunderland, not so good. But still, you could probably still say that Sunderland team wasn't the best. But, I mean, you could probably still say that he did enough. He did enough to get a move to Sociedad. But, yeah, my right winger is Adnan Januzaj.
I must think you're pulling them out of the bag here tonight. I tell you, you're really pulling them out of the bag.
Look, I thought I was struggling. But now, as I'm saying them, I'm like, do you know what? This ain't a bad team. My left winger is Alan Saint-Maximin. There's no point in beating around the bush there. The geezer's an absolute. He's unbelievable. He's footwork. He's one of the most skillful players in Europe that I've seen do it at a high level. Power, pace. He's just I see players just fall over trying to stand him up. It's got to be Saint-Maximin in there. We're left down to one position.
Two in it. Oh, two for me.
Yeah, two for you. Go on. Give us your left winger.
Right. Well, I'm going to have a bit of fun, right? Because I was going to say Callum Wilson. Yeah, I think he's a good player, and I think it'd be unfair for him. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to forget Callum Wilson plays for. I'm going to, for me, he's still at Bournemouth, right? But I've got these other two that I'm going to I'm going to put in instead of Callum Wilson.
Mhm.
Although I want to give a shout out to him. The centre forward is very recently just turned down a new contract. He's a prolific goal scorer. In the Euros, we see him. We see how much of a problem he is for defensives, especially when we see him play for England. He's the Tornado. He's the Scottish Italian. Lima loves him. We all love him.
I forgot his name.
Every football love. What?
Tony Bologna.
That's a better shout. That's not a bad shout as a centre forward for Newcastle. Especially if you have Ane Januzaj or Riyad Mahrez on the right hand side, firing him the bullets. Yeah, I think good shout. And my final one, this player. In the summer, it was it was certain this player was going to go. He because of just another fact that a certain player came in. He doesn't get a lot of game time. He plays every now and then. He came from Germany. Was prolific in Germany, but just not really hit the ground running in the Premiership. He plays in the blue shirt, and he plays for Chelsea. And his name's Timo Werner.
All right. Now,
and he plays on that side because I know he does. I checked.
So you've got Willock up top, and you've got Werner on the left, on the right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but they have Lukaku and what's his name. But the thing is, what's happening at Chelsea? It's either Havertz. When Havertz is fit again, he won't be playing. He's out, and also Ziyech every now comes in and plays. So it's going to be difficult to find some game time for Timo Werner. And Newcastle could be, a place where, he could rekindle his career.
Yeah, I wonder how. What's his name? Yogi Love. What's the new one?
Yogi Love.
Hanky. What's his name? I forgot his name.
Who? Yogi.
No, not Yogi Love. The Germany manager.
Joachim Low.
The other one, the new one.
Oh right, Hans.
Oh my word!
Bayern Munich manager.
Oh no!
Hands. It's Hands.
What the hell? What? Why is my
Flick?
Hansi Flick. Yogi Love.
Hansi Flick. Cheers, Ryan.
Yeah, right. That was hurting. Oh my word! My brain was hurting there.
Oh, well, can we have a break after that? Can we just have a pause?
I totally, after all that, I forgot what I was going to say.
Train of thought's gone. Train of thought's gone.
Well, so my left wing is Saint-Maximin. Yeah, my right winger is Januzaj. Yeah, my forward. Yeah, he has been setting the world alight this season. Yeah.
That's not a good clue for a start. It could be anybody.
He's an absolute powerhouse. Some say he's still raw. Some say his technique's quite unconventional. Some say he's a bully. I say he's a bully. He's been scaring Premier League defenders since he's come into the Premier League this season. He's a former Newcastle United player. And it's time to come home. Ivan Toney, the centre forward for Newcastle United. Here we go. I couldn't put anyone else up top than the cherry himself, Ivan Toney. He deserves to come back. He deserves to be the big money signing that Newcastle take forward to lead the line as the new Alan Shearer. Ivan Toney, it's your place. It's your time to take the crown. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Wow. That was fun.
I tell you as well, I mean, like, another one, I mean, Isaac. I mean, can you imagine if they got Alexander Isaac or someone like that?
Yeah, I mean, these players are these are definitely doable. These players that are not quite at the clubs that are in the top 4, maybe the push in Europe. Is anyone that's in the Europa League and below, I think is easily achievable for Newcastle, because they know that it won't be too long until Newcastle are pushing to get into those competitions. So, yeah. So, people, what I'm going to do is going to put up both teams on the page, and this will be your opportunity to pick who you think is the favourite team. So we're going to go to Transfer Exchange Show on Twitter, and you pick who your favourite team is. There's Steve's team and there's Kieran's team. Big choice, big choice. We was going to go for the combined teams, but you know what? I like both of them. I like the sound of both of them. They're both in their own differences, and I think it'd be a good opportunity for people to pick. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Ryan. Absolutely saved my bacon there with a handsy flick shout. Thank you very much, Jeff Horsfield shout. Please don't mention that name again. They will not be happy. All right, I'm only playing. Everyone else, thank you for joining us. I see quite a few people joined us on Twitter tonight. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate that. Hit that retweet, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Come over to KS1 TV, and anyone watching on Facebook, definitely 100% do the same, because the live chats on YouTube are much better. I tell you that now. Peace out, laughing my head off at this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ryan. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Cheers, Ryan.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Yeah, thanks. Enjoyed it tonight. A lot of fun. I'm going to write this one off though. This 11. You've. I got all my hands up. You've nailed it, mate. Tonight, absolutely nailed it. Each one you was coming in after mine. It was like a boxing match. It was like boom. I was coming. I thought I was coming in with the uppercut, but then you was coming in with a knockout punch. But
you know what?
Other than that, I really enjoyed it.
Great shout with Lascelles. I'll give you that. I'll give you Lascelles 100%. Great shout. And Saint-Maximin. So the two players that are currently in the team are the ones you've got. So that's all you're having from me. All right, people. Thank you very much again for joining us. Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.